Hey crafters, I am really excited to be bringing you part 2 of the Double Crochet Snowman. So in part 1, we crocheted the body and the head of our snowman. Not particularly exciting, but today we're gonna add all the details that make it super cute. So if you missed part 1, make sure you go back and watch that video. In today's video, I'm gonna show you how to make the arms, how to add some buttons, and make a little hat and a scarf. So let's start crocheting the arms. So I'm using again some Hobby Lobby yarn. I love this yarn. I don't remember the actual red color that this one is, but it's a red yarn. And then as far as hook size, still using a size H 5mm hook. So we're gonna start with a slip knot, or you can do a magic ring. The magic ring, I really struggle with that. So I do a slip knot and then I'm gonna chain 3, 2, 3, and then go back to that first one and slip stitch in that to join. So I crocheted a little ring there basically. And for round 1, we're going to start by chaining 1, chain 1, and then in this little ring we've crocheted, we're going to work 6 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, and I'm just working over this tail end here. 4, 5, and 6. And you kind of pull on that tail end to cinch it up. That's my 6th single crochet. And then we're going to slip stitch in the chain from the beginning of the round to join. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So right here, I'm going to slip stitch to join. Now for round 2, I'm going to chain 1. And then in every stitch, I'm going to work 2 single crochet. Come to my first stitch and work 1 single crochet. And then a second single crochet. And I'm going to do this all the way around, so we'll end up with 12 single crochets for this round. So I've single crocheted 12 around, and I'm going to find my chain from the start of the round and slip stitch to join. Then rounds 3 and 4, we're going to work the same way. We're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to work a double crochet in each of the 12 single crochet stitches from the previous row. So here's my first double crochet, my second double crochet, and I'm going to work 12 all the way around and then slip stitch in the top of my chain 3 from the beginning of the round to join, and then repeat the same process for round 4. So I worked round 3 and then I just am finishing round 4 right now, so I'm going to slip stitch in the top of my chain 3 from the start of the round, slip stitch that to join that row, and we're going to fasten off in this color. And now we're going to swap to white, and I'm going to make a slip knot, and to join this I'm going to come right here where we did that join in the same spot, put the slip knot on my hook, pull it up, and then I'm going to chain 3. You can join it however you want, that's just how I'm joining it this time. And now for rows 5 through 8, we're going to work a chain 3 and then do 12 double crochet stitches around, slip stitch in the top, and then that will finish our first arm. So I'm going to work double crochets evenly around for round 5, 6, 7, and 8, and then I will fasten off. But when you fasten off at the end, leave a long tail, because we'll use that tail to sew it onto our snowman body. But I'll meet you back once I finish round 8. Alright, so this is what my arms look like, and I went ahead and made 2 of them. So what we want to do now with these arms is we want to stuff them and then sew them closed and attach them to our snowman body. So what I like to do to stuff these, again, white plastic bag, and I'm going to cut a handle off. And I just find that a handle is like the perfect amount to stuff the arms. It's one, we'll repeat with the second one. Now that we've got it stuffed, we're going to stitch it closed. So we're basically going to pinch it in half and line up 6 stitches on this side with the 6 stitches on the other side there, and we'll just sew those together. I'm just going to do a basic whip stitch, and I'll show you how I do that. So I'm going to go underneath my first stitch on this side, and underneath my first stitch on the back side, tighten it up, Go to the front side, go underneath the stitch. Back side, go underneath the next stitch. Just keep going along until I've stitched it all the way closed. And I might not have left a long enough tail, so make sure you leave a plenty long enough tail because we're also going to use the same tail to attach it to the snowman. That ought to do it. And now we're going to go to our snowman and we're going to attach it between rows 13 and 14 of the body. So I'm going to have to count and mark some stuff. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, I'm going to put a stitch marker here in row 13. We're basically going to attach it right in this level here. I'm going to find my seam where I join my rounds. You can see it right there, and put that on the back. And then I just attach arms on either side. So right here is where I'm going to attach my first arm. I'm going to attach it in this area right here between rows 13 and 14. And I'm just going to do a whip stitch again. Just going through the snowman body and then out the front of the arm. Through the snowman body and out the front of the arm. And really this doesn't have to be anything fancy. And if you're using this as just a decoration, like no one's going to be messing with it, it just has to be strong enough to hold it together. It doesn't have to be super durable or anything. I'm going to finish stitching this along the side. Honestly, the snowman right now, like once we get the hat and scarf on and the buttons, it looks like a snowman, but right now it kind of looks like Baymax. Just like, oh, so cute. And then I'm going to just run it through one more time to the bottom side here. And then in the armpit of the snowman, I guess, I'm going to just run it through here and make a knot and tie it off. And then this tail piece, I'm just going to run it in through the snowman. I'll just push that inside my snowman the rest of the way. Alright, so that's one arm attached. We're going to do the same and attach the other arm on the other side. If you want to be super exact, you can count like how many you do it to left and right. I'm just going to approximate my left and right here, but I am going to keep track of how many rows. So I'm going to do it between rows 13 and 14 again, so it's the same height. So this is our snowman so far. Next, we're going to make some buttons. I'm going to make my buttons black, but of course you can make them whatever color you want them to be. And hopefully we can see this because black yarn can be really hard to see your stitches. So I'm going to work this in the round, and I'm going to start with a slip knot and a chain 3 and then join, but of course you can use a magic ring if you're good at that. So I'm doing 1, 2, 3 chains, and then in my first one I'm slip stitching to make a ring. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to insert my hook somewhere into this mess, call it the center, and in this circle I'm going to double crochet 12 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and so on and so forth until I have 12 stitches, and then I'm going to slip stitch in the top of my chain 3 to join. So again, a little hard to see, but basically I'm just inserting my hook in the top of my chain 3 from the round and slip stitching to join. And then once we do that, we need to fasten off, so I'm going to yarn over and pull up a loop, but we want to leave a really long tail because we'll use this tail to attach our button. And we will want 3 of these, so I've already made 2. And then I'm going to get out my tapestry needle again, and we're going to sew them onto the body of our snowman. So here's what I'm going to do with these buttons. So the yarn, this tail end is coming from the side. I'm going to put the yarn tail onto my needle. And then again, a little hard to see because of the dark yarn, but I'm just running the needle through this little button that I've made so that way it comes out the center. So you kind of see how the side, instead of coming out from the edge, is coming out from the center, and that'll just make it so we can attach this more centered instead of just attaching at the top or bottom of a button. So the first one, I'm gonna line it up with my arms. I'm gonna sew this on between rows 13 and 14 here, and I'm just roughing it for where the center is. You can of course count stitches if you want to be exact. I'm just never that exact when I sew my stuff together. So being honest, the sewing is my least favorite part of amigurumi. I'm just kind of going through the snowman, and then I'll go through the button. You can go through multiple times. I'm just gonna go through once. I'm gonna wrap it around the button, go up through that loop, and tie it off. Again, any excess you can either weave into the button or weave and shove it into the body of the snowman. I'm just gonna tuck it in to the body of the snowman right here behind this button. And that's the first button attached. The next button I'm going to attach between rows 9 and 10 of the body, and the last button I will attach in the same manner between rows 6 and 7. But here's how it looks once we add all 3 buttons, and all that's left is adding the scarf and the hat. Again, I decided to split this into 3 parts instead of just 2, so this is part 2 where we added the arms and the button. Make sure you come back for part 3 where we will add the scarf and the hat. Those are both a lot of fun, and then we will be able to have our double crochet snowman complete and all together. Thanks for watching part 2, and I will catch you in part 3. Happy crafting!